Hey guys, what's up? Gonna come at you with a little lesson today, and something that we would be doing in class. I'm trying to do it virtually, and so it is obviously a little bit different because I don't get to interact with y'all. However, hopefully the information that you're getting from today's is worthwhile, and you have the ability to complete an assignment for me, as well as a discussion board that I'll have posted up. And looking, the majority of y'all have done an excellent job of checking on D2L often, and hopefully you're checking out these videos. Try to keep them as short as possible because I definitely want you to maximize your time in reflective practices, not necessarily just sitting here and listening to me, a sweet angelic voice that I have. Um, I have noticed that hopefully, if you are seeing this for the first time, that means that you actually logged into D2L. Or if you're seeing the video series for the first time, you have finally logged in. I do have a couple of students that have not, and I'm hoping that they show up soon, because we are now under a month in this modified new what's this thing called? Schedule. Yeah, we have 4 weeks, counting this week, and this week we were supposed to be doing our career exploration projects, and those are going to be happening. And those are going to be happening that very last week. Not figured out how we're going to do it yet, but what we're going to be talking about today is definitely going to help you a little bit as far as some guidance and some direction. I hope that all y'all are doing good. It seems like our new norm is hopefully transitioning back to old norm. I know a lot of people have strong feelings either way about what's going on and the mandates that are going on the state level. But make sure that you are staying involved with Lone Star, and make sure that you have, um, you know, it's scheduled to check your email often, as well as your D2L pages for your classrooms. Also, I did get a message from our advisor, and he sent out a link to everybody who has not met with him yet so that you can get signed up for classes. I know that the majority of courses, I believe, don't hold me to this, but are probably going to be online interfaces in the fall and in the summer, unless something changes. I believe that's correct. Again, don't hold me to that. If you have any questions, I did open up a Q&A discussion board. I can get in there and I can kind of field questions for you. I can answer them on video for others, or I can just very simply type it out. I don't mind being on video. I think it's fun. It's a fun interface with y'all. And putting it on YouTube, I guess the world can look at it if they so choose. All right, so with that being said, what I'm going to focus on today is I'm going to take a look at a presentation, that we would technically be doing in class, and I'm going to post it up for y'all to look at. And it's establishing a GPS for your life. And what I'm calling a GPS is a growth potential system, and it's going to be a system of how you can actually grow and how you can develop as a college student, as somebody that is going to be a huge success. So I'm going to be going through it on my computer. I'm going to probably have some crazy eyes looking around, but I'm going to go through these, talk a little bit about each slide, and then I'm going to go ahead, again, get it posted up. I'm going to have an assignment at the end that I'm going to talk about, and a discussion board that you will need to complete for this. So I prefer you seeing me in this medium. I could do a voiceover PowerPoint, but oh my God, pull my eyes and ears out. That would be exhausting for you to watch and for me to create. So this is, and obviously you could probably split screen this, have it up as well as the video at the same time, and you can go through it, and it would be a huge benefit to you in this way. So this is called Focus on the Future. And this is kind of one of those lectures that I like to kind of go off of the normal rails of our text and share it with you because it's from a creation out of a book I read, and I kind of modified it to be able to fit with what y'all, kind of my expectations of y'all and y'all's expectations of yourself. So this is called Focus on the Future. Um, and the very first slide, we see our two circles. It's the where are you now, and then it's the line and the arrow that says, it's where are you now and where do you need to be. We have that circle in the middle, and this is the knowledge that you currently have, and ultimately you're in college because you're trying to get the knowledge that's out here. And the best way to do that is to very simply, um, have a model of success. No, not success. What word am I looking for? Y'all know me and my words. Kind of to have your goals listed out and how are you going to actually achieve it, right? And to have a plan. Okay, let's have a plan. I was looking for a really hard word there, right? Plan. Okay. Um, and we discussed 2 weeks ago kind of what were your goals, and we looked at some academic goals, but I want you to think on a bigger picture, and this is going to be um, your discussion board. So as we're going through this, I want you to think about this, and you're going to be answering these questions on your discussion board. Is where are you at with your current goals? Okay. I want you to get a little bit more elaborate than just very simply saying, do you look at them? Yes. Do you know what they are? Yeah. What is your plan for future goals? Complete them. Or, whatever. I want a little bit more thought because once you have the ability to kind of dig into your ideas, your thoughts, your mind, then you're going to have the ability to be a, a ton more successful because you're actually recognizing the need. If we go back to the two circles, okay, we know what we know right here, but ultimately what we need to know is out here. Recognize what you have to do and how you have to plan to get to that outside knowledge sphere. Ooh, that sounds fancy, a knowledge sphere. So let's look at the idea of living forward. Living forward, I'm calling this a GPS for your life. This is not something that I necessarily 100% created. Again, it's something that I modified from a book that is titled Living Forward. And the living forward idea is to get from where you are currently to where you want to be. So this is a guidance, just like a GPS system in your car, or rather it's on your phones now. It tells you where to go. And just like any place you want to go, it's not a map anymore. It's either knowledge or you go ahead and tell your phone, hey, take me here, and it will pull up and give you the best and easiest, not all the time, but it'll give you the best and easiest methodology of getting from point A to point B. But we're looking at this as personal growth. We're looking at this as you going from here to here ultimately. And so what I want you to be able to do is identify again the points along the way to get to where you need to be. Because a GPS requires that you input direction. The GPS doesn't guess. It's like, oh, well, your phone tells you the Waze app. If you don't use that app, it's pretty legit. The way sometimes there's cats with swords on it. I haven't quite figured that out, like Cookie Monster and stuff, but whatever. Anyway, so it doesn't just automatically say, well, I know where you're going today. Let's ride. Walk out of your door, take a right. It doesn't know that. It doesn't say that. It doesn't know. So it needs input. It requires input. And so just like your growth potential system, how much growth do you actually have? How much potential do you actually have to grow? Well, you have unlimited growth potential, but it's how you assess your desires and how you plan for your potential that will determine where you go and what you do ultimately. So nothing's actually going to happen until you decide where you want to go. And one thing that we looked at with the Do What You Are exercise well before spring break, we kind of pinpointed where you wanted to go, and a lot of y'all were able to say, man, this is something new, this is a new thought, this is a new idea that I never thought of before. So this is the time in your college career where the exploratory practices of doing these exercises and writing down thoughts and the career exploration project where we get to see other people's ideas and careers, it allows you to, decide where you want to go, what arrow, what path you want to follow. Another thing a GPS lets you do is it allows you to get there faster, less hassle. So this growth potential system, this growth potential idea, it is your navigation system, right? Having a GPS plan, that growth potential system plan, takes the stress out because you know the next steps, and now you have put in place the markers along the way, whether it be professors, advisors, um, whether it be groups that you get associated with, whether it's family, stepping stones at a job. It gets you there at a faster pace, right? It doesn't bounce you around like I did in college for God knows how many years, right? I didn't know about this stuff. I didn't have somebody telling me these things. Um, and on the PowerPoint presentation, I like this little quote here on this little um, picture. It says, "Go fast enough to get there, but slow enough to see." So the idea, we want to get from point A to point B very, very quickly, and we don't want to continue to spend out, years and years and years and years and years in college trying to achieve this outer bubble of knowledge, to ultimately realize our goals in our career. But we want to enjoy the process. And I've told y'all that one thing that I was involved in at Texas was I was protesting the protests, and I made the yearbook. That's literally the only thing that I ever really involved myself in. And so I missed out on a ton of really, really good um, interactions and a lot of really good networking opportunities that didn't necessarily hurt me because I don't know. But what it did was it allowed for me to look back and go, man, I could have done so much more. I could have done so many things different. But again, that's why I am sitting here talking to y'all and being able to motivate and guide y'all. But anyway, slow enough to see. I like it. Don't rush anything. Be planned out and enjoy the process along the way, because trust me, it'll be here and gone before you know it. A GPS also gives you constant feedback on your process, because just like if you put in an address into your phone, or if you got one of those sweet Garmin's or TomToms on your dash, if you um, are watching the map, you know exactly how far away you are. Okay, you know that in 1.4 miles you're going to turn to the right, and then you know that your destination is up ahead on the left. So understanding that you are creating basically that growth potential system, a GPS for your life, you're going to figure out where you are in relation to your overall goals with constant feedback. Without feedback, you have no idea where you're going, or how far along in the process you actually are. You will lose track. I can promise you, you're going to go off track, and especially now in what's going on with the shakeup in society, a lot of us are completely off track, and it's really hard to adjust to the new norm or the temporary norm. But if you are planned out and you know what your potential is, and you use this idea as a true system to grow, you are going to be it's going to be a huge benefit to your success, and you're going to lose your way, you're going to take a wrong turn, but this is obviously going to give you a reference point of knowing where you went wrong, and you can backtrack it a little bit, and you can fix it. Super easy stuff. We all make mistakes. No reason to dwell on them. A GPS also reroutes you around roadblocks. Path to success. Nobody's turned that in yet, by the way, but that's okay. You got time. But it is a big portion of your grade, because those are roadblocks. If we are able to have something in place that we can continually reference, then we have the ability to adjust and recalculate on the fly. I say it all the time. Family and finances are your biggest obstacle to being successful in school. It's not your inability to learn. You may not have figured out how to learn yet, but you're not limited by that unless you allow that to limit you. So usually we're looking at things that we are not necessarily in control with: family and finances. And I know we've spoken about that before, but identifying these items and these things, it's inevitable that you're going to bump into them, but knowing that plan and having that potential, your potential in a systematic uh, styling, that you can reflect on and you have something substantial that you can look at, you'll be able to get around things. And got to be real. You're not always going to get it right. Okay. A GPS is not always accurate. Okay. You're like, it said that my destination is up here on the left, but where? It's the same thing whenever we're looking at a growth potential system. And it's a system that is imperfect because we don't know the future. We only know what our desires and hopes are for the future. And from that, that is how we um, move forward, right? That's how we plan for the future. So you're not always going to get it right. You must be able to adjust. And what I want you to do is I want you to think about this requires an investment of time. This requires an investment of effort. And a lot of us don't want to do it. But very simply, if I'm looking at a growth potential system, I'm looking at a business plan to get that outer circle goal, okay, the knowledge that I need for my future success. It's like paying extra for navigation in the car. It is worth every penny if you are always in the car. Well, you're always within yourself and your thoughts and your learning, so it's definitely worth every penny. And honestly, all this takes is a time, maybe a pen, maybe a pencil, and a piece of paper. If I had one around, I'd hold it up for a really, really cool um, uh, paper spot. I don't know. Anyway, so the whole idea is once I come up with this idea, this plan, and what is my potential, and I write it down. There's no set deal for this. This is goals. This is not. This is just very simply what is your plan. It's creating a plan. It's visualizing a plan, and it's following the path. It's not to produce this thing on a sheet of paper and say, "This is my plan. This is what I'm going with," and then you don't follow it. Plans can look in a variety of different ways. It's completely up to you what fits you the best. It could be like a business model type of plan. It could be a bullet pointed list of things to do. It could be a checklist of things that you must do. As long as you can see and identify what's going on and what's going to happen, and you have the ability to think past right now, then this will make you extremely successful. So ultimately, your goal, very simply, is you are going to do a discussion board reflection on your current goals. Very simple. I will have them put up here shortly, and then you will also have a drop box for a what's your plan for the future for your growth potential system. What is your growth potential? And I want you to create a system. Obviously, as always, if you have any questions about this, this is a broad stroke of an assignment. There is no necessarily there's not a rubric for you to check on or check off because everybody's plan is going to look a little bit different. So with that being said, thank you so much. I almost kicked y'all to 20 minutes on this one. I am sorry. I'm really not, because y'all know I love talking and hear myself speak. So with that being said, make sure that you get your Path to Success paper done as quickly as possible. That is going in the grade book. This growth potential system is going in the grade book. Get them done and stay on top of stuff. And we will talk soon. Hope everybody's hanging in there. Hit the Q&A on discussion if you need to. Adios.